Hello and welcome again to another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show, and today we are going to talk about one of the coolest things that I have in my collection. I guess it's an unboxing, but not really, because it is in a box, but I've already opened it, and it's a box set that I bought in 2016, I believe, and it is the Kiss Casablanca Singles 7-inch box set. I'm a huge fan of 45s. A lot of people don't understand why. I don't know, I just like the single format. I grew up buying singles, and to this day I just love collecting singles. I mean, a lot of the time you get songs that aren't on any albums, on the B-sides, things like that. I don't know, I just like the idea of the single. And they're cheap, and they're cool, and a lot of that stuff has never been reissued on digital format or whatever. So I've always been drawn to the idea of the 7-inch vinyl, and that's why this box set was a must-have for me. Even though I guess all of these tracks can be found on their albums and stuff like that, but it's not the point. The point is that I just like the idea of 7-inch vinyl. So we have this, the Kiss Casablanca Singles box set, 29 singles in all. It weighs a fair bit, so if you were to buy this, online, and they were going to charge you postage, the postage would be insane because this thing weighs a lot. So I dread to think what the postage cost you for those people who bought this when it came out. I didn't. I bought this, like I said, in 2016 from Amoeba Records. But that's another story, and I'll get to that in a minute. But what I want to first tell you about is basically Kiss itself, the band. Being in Australia, when Unmasked was released, everybody knew who Kiss was. Like, they were everywhere. And the reason why is the song Shandy got a gold record here. It was everywhere. Like, the song was on all the TV shows. It was on the radio all the time. Anyway, so the first cassette we ever had in our house that was Kiss related was Unmasked. I don't know who bought it, whether my dad bought it or my mum bought it or whoever bought it, but it was in our house. And so I used to listen to that, and I think it's such a great record. I love the cover art. The songs are great. I think the way it opens up is such a killer. With Is That You? That's such a great song. And you've got She's So European. You've got Talk to Me, which I think Ace's vocals on that just sound so damn good. And the playing obviously is great. So I have a really huge affection for Unmasked. In fact, I have 2 copies of it. Both still have the poster and the Kiss Army enrollment form. This enrollment form is pretty funny. You've got a membership certificate that is suitable for framing. That always makes me laugh. If you are a part of the Kiss Army, or if you're in any fan club, can you please let me know if you have your certificate in a frame on the wall? They always say it, a certificate suitable for framing, yet I've never met anybody that has actually framed their certificates, their membership certificates of any fan clubs. I've only ever joined 2 fan clubs in my life. And the first one was Aerosmith, so that I could secure really good tickets to see Aerosmith for the very first time. I didn't think they were ever going to come to Australia, and so I went to Pittsburgh and saw them in 2009, and I was like 8 rows back on the catwalk, and it was amazing. And I took this awesome photo of Steven Tyler and this rad photo of Joe Perry. I've got hundreds of photos from that show. I just kept taking photos. The way I was doing it was kind of funny. I was still enjoying the show, but I was just like sitting the camera on the stage and letting it take automatic photos. So I ended up having some really good shots and also some really terrible ones. But that way I could just sit there and enjoy the show. The other fan club I joined was the Red Cross fan club. And I was really hugely into Red Cross around the time Phase Shifter came out. And so they had a Red Cross Army fan club. So I guess you can see why that ties into the Kiss Army. So I sent away $35 or whatever it was, and I got a t-shirt, which still fits. Yay! I also got a poster and a sticker and a badge. And I was supposed to get something called the Cross Chronicles, a newsletter sent out to me, and I never got a single one. So I don't know what happened there. And I remember the poster was just folded up and chucked in with the t-shirt. And when I got the poster, it was all bent and like somebody had trampled on it and whatever. I don't know where that poster is today. I'm sure I've still got it somewhere because I don't seem to throw anything out. That was the other fan club I joined. I don't think I've ever joined any other fan clubs that I can think of. I sent money away to the Hard-Ons fan club, but it was those days when, you couldn't afford to spend the extra $2 on a money order. So you just put $15 in a gig flyer and you sent it to the fan club and hoped that they got it. And when I met them, I told them about it, that I'd never received anything, and they obviously never got it. My own stupidity, should have paid the extra $2 for the money order, but we all make mistakes, right? Cool. But anyway, Kiss. My connection with Kiss is that I will admit, I am not the biggest fan of Kiss. I love Kiss. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to see them in August, but I don't love them. Like, I'm not a Kiss Army dedicated fan to them. I don't do the face paint. I don't have Kiss bobbleheads. I don't have, you know, like a coffin, pinball machines, whatever. I mean, if someone gave it to me, of course I'd take it, but it's not something that I'm hugely die hard about. I do love the fandom though. When I go see them live, I see the people in the, you know, wearing the rarest t-shirts they've got. They're wearing the face paint. They're dressed up in the costumes and everything. I love all that. I love seeing that. I think it's awesome to have people that are that dedicated to your band. I love it. You know, I think it's just incredible to see. And let's face it, their merchandise always looks awesome. When you've got something like Kiss, you know, the makeup, you've got characters, and you can do so much with them. Like, that's what I love about Unmasked. You know, you've got this comic book style record cover, you know, and I love this because I love comic book art. And I think that that's what's so cool with Kiss, is that you can do this kind of stuff with Kiss. It's just like you can do it with Alice Cooper. You can do it with Rob Zombie, because they're characters and they've got something that you can use to create this world that you couldn't do it with so many bands, because there's just nothing there. You know what I mean? But when you've got figures like this, you can do so much with it. And we all know what Kiss are like with comic books. They've got, you know, I mean, hell, they drain their blood to use as ink in the first Marvel comic, as you can see in these photos, which I think is pretty cool. The closest thing that I've seen to that was when Manowar apparently signed their recording contract in their own blood. I thought that was pretty awesome too. But anyway, Kiss, you know, you can do so much with it. Like, that's why there are so many things like action figures and stuff. I have these action figures. And you can do like cartoons, you can do comic books. In fact, speaking of cartoons, if you've never seen Kiss and Scooby-Doo, that cartoon, it's like a feature-length movie, I highly recommend it. It's absolutely hilarious and I absolutely love it.
Looks like Spaceman is spaced out. On the Star Child.
One Catman down and one penguin to go.
I love Scooby-Doo anyway, so watching that is a no-brainer for me. I was just so totally into it. I've got, you know, a bunch of comic books. I've got, like, you know, the Kiss Meets Archie, and I've got the compendium thing, which is all the comic books in one big thick thing that weighs a ton. I've got one of those. I went to Vegas and I played Kiss mini golf, which if you haven't done, you should do. Check out these photos. The whole thing is like lit up. Like, it's like neon black light stuff, and it is incredible. And, you know, you're just playing, and they're just playing Kiss music all the time. You know, I went there with my friend Corinna, and here's a photo of us standing with a giant Gene Simmons like impersonator that was there to officiate a wedding. Like, someone was getting married in the Hotter Than Hell chapel or whatever it was. And we just joined in on this Kiss wedding and watched it happen right before our eyes. This couple got married to a Gene Simmons impersonator, which was awesome. It had photos and stuff. So we got a photo with him. He's available for hire and stuff like that. Yeah, that was a fun time. The gift shop thing there has so much memorabilia on display, like Kiss memorabilia throughout the years, as you can see here. It is awesome how much stuff is there. And there's things that I didn't even know existed. You know, and I'm always one of those people who look out, you know, when I'm around and I see Kiss merch, I'm always looking at it because I'm so fascinated by it. So if you get a chance when in Las Vegas, definitely go and play Kiss mini golf. I bought a mug, $6.99, my friends. When it comes to shows, I've seen Kiss a few times. I didn't get to see them with Ace, which bums me out. And the whole reason why I didn't see them with Ace is because I couldn't justify the ticket prices. And that's just how it's always been. And yet for some reason, I bought the tickets for the August show, but it is their final tour. But they have said the farewell tour numerous times, and they've been on a farewell tour since, what, 96? But still, they reckon that this is the actual one, so I bought tickets to go see that. But this one I saw in 2008, which was at the Grand Prix, and this show was awesome. It really, really was. I really enjoyed this show. I had such a good time, and the set list was great. And yeah, it was just awesome. This thing, I don't know where this came from. I really don't. I probably saw them on the Sonic Boom tour. I'm not sure how I got it. I don't know, it says all access, or maybe it was some memorabilia thing that came with an album or something. Or maybe just somebody just gave it to me. I don't remember, but I have it and it's pretty cool. So let's get to the box set, which is why you're here, right? Not to hear me babble on about my experiences with Kiss. Or maybe you enjoyed that. I don't know, but this is what you're here for. I love this die cut box. I think it is just awesome. In 2016, when I was in Amoeba, I couldn't bring this home. And the reason why is I just didn't have any room. Like, seriously, I was walking through the terminal at LAX with records under my arms that weren't in bags, that were just loose, because I didn't have any room to put them in anything, in any of my suitcases or on my backpack or whatever, because I'd bought so much stuff. So there was no way this box was ever going to fit in there. Thankfully, my friend Kerry was going over to America and was going to LA, and she said to me, hey, I'm going to go to Amoeba. Is there anything you want? And I was like, actually, there is. I said, if you're in Amoeba and you see this Kiss box set of singles, if it's still there and it's $150, can you grab it for me? And she said, absolutely. So she did, and she brought it back, and here we are. I have it in my hands, and it is awesome. So, what's in it? Let's have a look, shall we? That's what it looks like. 29 singles and a booklet. You get this on the back, which basically details all the singles and what's in it. This is the booklet. This is really cool. I like this. It's got, you know, like just information and cool photos, which I love seeing. Look at Paul's makeup there. So this is really cool, and you know, you get all the stuff, and you know, blood, of course, and Beth, I hear you calling, and yeah, you get the idea. Just rad snapshots of Kiss, Ace, you know, just awesome stuff. But now the gold. First single, no picture sleeve, Nothing to Lose, and the love theme from Kiss. Kiss in Time and Nothing to Lose. Strutter, probably my favorite, or one of my top 5 favorite songs of Kiss. So this is the Strutter single with 100,000 Years. Now Strutter, who did an awesome version of Strutter? That's right, these girls. On the soundtrack of Detroit Rock City, the Donnas did the most incredible version of Strutter. And here it is on a split 7-inch with Kiss doing Detroit Rock City. Yeah, if you see this single, you should buy it. Amazing version of Strutter. So, so cool. I bet they must have been thrilled to know that they were doing a split 7-inch with Kiss, because I know how massive Kiss fans that they are. So, yeah, awesome. Let Me Go Rock and Roll and Hotter Than Hell. Look at how awesome that photo is. Such a cool picture sleeve. Love it. Now we probably have the most overrated Kiss song. It's a good song, but you know, we've heard it a billion times, and I only like hearing it when it's played live and I'm there at the concert, because then I'll get up and sing along and dance and whatever, and I love it then, but I don't actively go out and listen to it. But it is Kiss Rock and Roll All Night. But the flip side is Getaway. Now, you know who does an amazing version of Rock and Roll All Night? Well, first of all, Green Day just did it recently, and it sounds awesome. But Australian band the Hard-Ons do possibly the best version of Rock and Roll All Night that I've ever heard. It sounds a little like this. can't help it. It was played at the speed that it was meant to be played at. And I love that about the song. So yeah, the Hard-Ons, I think, do the best version of Rock and Roll All Night that I've ever heard. And I know that's probably blasphemy to Kiss fans, but I mean, come on, Kiss have got so many good songs. That one's just overplayed. We've heard it a billion times. And really, it should have been played a little bit faster. Don't you reckon? Like I said, the flip side is a song called Getaway. Now, do you know who does a really good version of Getaway? These guys. This is a band, Chemical People, with the best version of Getaway that I've heard covered yet. And it's on this split 7-inch with Big Trill Car, who do a great version of Surrender by Cheap Trick. And this artwork is so good.
I gotta get away. Get away, get away, get away. I gotta get away. Wow, baby, get away. I gotta get away. Gotta get away.
But there you go, my friends. If you want to get your hands on this, you should, because both songs are winners. Getaway also appears on the flip side to this one, which is Come and Love Me. I love Japanese 45s, and I love the artwork and the alternate artwork that they use on their records. This is so cool. I love picture sleeves, like I've always said, but this one is a really good picture sleeve. I just love the design. This one's like a throwaway single, and I say that because it's basically Rock and Roll All Night studio on one side and Rock and Roll All Night live on the other. But how cool is that photo? Another Japanese single. This is Shout It Out Loud with flip side Sweet Pain. Now, do you know who does a really good version of Shout It Out Loud? These guys. I got to say that the Zeke's version of Shout It Out Loud is an absolute killer version, and I highly recommend you get that record if you don't already own it. But that Zeke record is absolutely phenomenal. It was actually the very first album I heard by Zeke, and it's killer the whole way through. So if you like Motorhead meets Kiss, that's the band for you. Flaming Youth. I love the Destroyer artwork, I really do. The B-side doesn't say anything there, but it's actually God of Thunder. Possibly top 3 favourite Kiss songs of all time. I know people are going to say it's cliched because, you know, they open up with it and stuff like that a lot of the time when they're not opening up with Juice. But Detroit Rock City, how good is this song? Let's face it, it's just a great tune. It's well written. The guitar playing on it's awesome. It's, you know, Paul sounds great. It's just a really good song. It really is from start to finish. You know who also does a really good version of Detroit Rock City? Bullet LaVolta do the best version on this record of Detroit Rock City that I've ever heard. True story. This EP is just awesome. Bullet LaVolta are great anyway, but the version of Detroit Rock City on here is just killer. As the story goes, the B-side to Detroit Rock City is the song Beth. Now, Beth ended up being such a big hit that they released it on its own 7-inch with Detroit Rock City on the flip side. Do I like Beth? It's not a bad song. It's not my favourite song by any means. You know, it's just a ballad, and it is a good ballad. And I remember when I interviewed Dr. Frank from the Mr. T Experience, he told me that when they started touring, they started meeting all these girls named Beth because their parents were listening to this song by Kiss. Funny story, but I'm sure that's probably the truth. You know, like, I'm sure there's plenty of girls named after this song. Hard Luck Woman with Mr. Speed. You know who does a really good version of Hard Luck Woman? Ginger from the Wild Hearts. It's on one of his live CDs. I'm sure if you search on YouTube, you'll find it. Hard Luck Woman is a really good song. Really, really good song. Well written, great chorus, love it. Calling Dr. Love. You know what I love about this song? That intro riff is so good. Even though it's just a really basic chord progression, but it's the way that Ace plays it. It sounds awesome. I just love it. It's such a great song. I wish the chorus was as good as the verse. I really do, because I just think that chord progression is so good, but I think the chorus is a bit, I don't know, it's just a bit mediocre compared to the verses. But still, that, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Christine 16 with Shock Me. Like I said, I'm all for picture sleeves, and how good is that one? Love Gun. That drum intro, we all know it. It's awesome. And the B-side is Hooligan. One of my favorite songs is Love Gun for sure. Great song. I know I'm just, you know, the hits are the best songs, but it's true. That's why they were hits, because they were the best songs. Not all bands are like that, but in Kiss's case, yeah, it was like that. Live single, Shout It Out Loud, and Nothing to Lose. Pretty cool. Rocket Ride. Great song. Flip side is Tomorrow and Tonight. Strutter 78. I love this picture sleeve. I just think it's a great looking picture sleeve. Whoever designed it did a fantastic job. Like, how cool is that? And that was a thing, you know, that logo was just so perfect for being able to like use in such a way for artistic reasons. It's awesome. Now we get into some of the solo singles. We've got Hold Me, Touch Me by Paul Stanley. Paul's single comes on purple vinyl. Oh, the flip side is Goodbye. I will say though that I think that the best two songs on Paul's solo record are It's Alright and Wouldn't You Like to Know Me. I'm just wondering why they never released those songs as singles. They're better songs. It's still a good single. And you get The Mask. My favourite of the solo albums is probably Ace Frehley's album, just because the playing is so good. But New York Groove, it's a groover. I mean, it's a bit overplayed, but it is still a good song. When I saw him live the last time and he played it, it was awesome. You know, we all were rocking out to it, because how could you not? Snowblind on the flip. Blue vinyl. And you get The Mask. Radioactive by Gene Simmons. Probably the hardest, or one of the hardest albums for me to get through when it comes to the solo stuff. Not a big fan of it, but you know what? Red vinyl. And you get The Mask. Not sure why, but we are subjected to 2 Peter Criss singles. A lot of people say to me that they think that Peter Criss's solo album is the worst of the 4. We all have our favourites. This one isn't one of mine. Green vinyl. And you get The Mask. Next up, we have I Was Made for Loving You. Possibly the most overplayed Kiss song in the history of Kiss songs. I hear it on the radio all the time, no matter where I am. In fact, last night I was grocery shopping and there it was playing as I walked in. And yeah, it's just one of those songs that's just played everywhere all the time. Flip side, not that it says there, but the flip side is Hard Times. Sure Know Something and Dirty Livin'. Like I said earlier, on Unmasked, Shandy was the song that elevated them to a gold record here in Australia. And Shandy is now on 7-inch in this box set for those who missed it the first time. Look, the flip side is She's So European, which is another great song. Back cover, Unmasked artwork. Love it. Another Japanese one. This is Tomorrow and Naked City. Look at that cool picture sleeve. So good. A World Without Heroes and Dark Light. Another great picture sleeve. And the last one in the box set is I Love It Loud. And this is a great song. I remember I saw a wrestler walk out to this and it just seemed to work. It really is a wrestling entrance theme song. So if you are a wrestler and you're searching for a theme song, maybe try this one. The B-side is Danger. How cool is that photo? So there we have it. 29 singles in the Kiss Casablanca singles box set. Now, before we go, a few things I do want to mention. I mentioned the Hard-Ons earlier and how great their version of Rock and Roll All Night is. They also do a great version of Lick It Up, which you can hear here. And the band Thrust on that same record do an awesome version of Making Love, which sounds like this. Those songs come off this album, which is called Hard to Believe, a Kiss Covers compilation album. Check out this track listing. That is the Nirvana. Possibly not the best Kiss cover you've ever heard though, but there it is, the Nirvana. One of the cool things about this is that this artwork was done by Ben Brown, who is an Australian artist. He was a singer of a band called the Hellmen. He's also an amazing artist. He does surfboards and record covers and stuff for tons and tons of bands. But he did this painting and this layout, and it is awesome. But it doesn't end there. Like you would have seen, it's on red vinyl. It's a double LP. But the gatefold is awesome. Look at all that Kiss memorabilia. How much did you own? I never had those 70s figures. It would have been cool. I did have a pillow though, which you can see down there in the bottom corner. I did have that pillow. We had 2 of those, I believe. Me and my brother had one each. But yeah, I love all this Kiss memorabilia. Like I said earlier in the video, I just love the whole aesthetic and the art of Kiss. I think it just works. But this is a great compilation album. Well worth picking up if you see it around. If you want to hear a bunch of independent bands doing Kiss covers, I highly recommend it. And why wouldn't you want to support those bands? One last Kiss cover I want to mention is by The Replacements. On this record, Let It Be, which is possibly my favorite Replacements record, they do a version of Black Diamond. They changed it though because they took off all that slow bit at the end and they just kept the real rock and stuff. And so it sounds awesome. But this album is essential. So if you don't own it, I suggest picking up a copy of it because it really is a great record. But anyway, this has been another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show where we have talked about Kiss, which I didn't think I was ever going to do, but I'm glad I did it because, you know, it was fun to do and it was fun to take a walk down Kiss Lane, I should say, through Kiss Nation and have a look at, you know, my Kiss collectible stuff, which is not much. So if you want to subscribe, please do. I've got so much more vinyl and rock and roll records coming your way. Don't forget you can also jump over to longgoneloser.com. The link is here. And you can listen to my radio show that I do every week where for an hour I play the greatest rock and roll from around the world. So feel free to jump on that if you want and check that out. You can follow me on Instagram at LongGoneLoser. So thank you so much for watching once again. I'll be back soon. Who knows what I'll talk about. But yeah, thank you very much and have the greatest day ever.